In this video, I make an obvious discovery. It's flat. Find the devil's in the detail, 666, and stack them high. So I'm going to switch on the AC inverter and see what happens. It's Da Vinci time. So, by popular demand, here's the first look at the 666 watt hour and what it has to offer. I'll continue to put it through its paces and make more videos in answer to your questions. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of the follow-up videos. Anyway, enough talk, let's go. So, much like the TV show Take Your Pick, it's time to open the box. And they've actually put a bit of effort into this one. So, we've got all the tech specs on the back. So, we're going to be looking at the 666 watt hour version today. So, you might feel a little bit uncomfortable or superstitious with that number, but that's what we're going to be covering today. We've got the details of the outputs there, which will also imagine be covered in the manual as well. So, let's open up and see what we get inside. Okay, so talking of the manual, that's the first thing that we find. Let's take this out. And what else do we get? We get a box of cables, so we'll have a look at those shortly. Okay, see what else we've got in here, and we've got the unit itself. So the rest of that is now empty. So we have one portable solar generator. So I'll tidy this up and get it all out on the table. So I've removed all the packaging now, as you can see, and here are the entire contents of the box on the table. So we have a manual, we have a fairly chunky power brick here, and we have the cable to plug into a UK main socket there. It's a figure 8 cable, which plugs into the power brick, which I'll show you in a minute. And let's just see what we get on the power brick. So the output on here is down as 20 volts at 5 amps. So that's good for about 100 watts. You just times those figures together to get watts. Got to say I'm a little bit disappointed. ALLPOWERS should really have a few more cables in the box. Perhaps something to charge solar, or perhaps the USB-C cable as a minimum. But I'll cover all the cables that you need further on in this video. Right, time for a quick look around the box now. So let's start with this end. So as you can see, we've got a couple of cooling vents there. We also have a DC input here. So this is for the power brick that comes with this, or you can charge from your cigarette lighter output in your car. We also have an Anderson port here for charging from solar panels. And we also have a cigarette lighter output here for your 12 volt devices. So let's have a look round at the front. So we've got two AC outputs here. So combined they can run at 500 watts continuous, or peaking up to 1000 watts. So let's have a look at the other end. So we've got a couple more cooling vents there. So we've got two DC 5525 outputs here. So these are good for 12 volts and 5 amps each on each of those ports there. So we have 1, 2, 3 USB ports here, and we have a USB-C PD port here. So that's not only for charging devices, but you can also charge this device using that port, which is really cool. Time to have a look at the buttons on the front now. So let's start with the most obvious. Oh, it's flat. Oh well, I better go and charge it first. Right, so I've got some power in it now, so let's try again with the button tool. So the first and most obvious are the individually controlled LED lights here. First button we have here is a dual function, so you click it once and the display comes up. And then if you click and hold that, that should switch Bluetooth on. So I'm hoping you can see the little symbol there in the top corner. So you need to have this on if you want to use the app. So I'm going to cover the app shortly in the video. So let's switch that off for now. And then switch Bluetooth off. And the next button on the list is the DC button. So if you click that on, it switches on your DC ports on the side, including your USB. And the last button on here is the AC button to switch on the two AC outlets. You have to hold that down for a few seconds to switch this on. And you'll hear the fans kicking in. That's just the start-up process for the inverter. And as you can see on here, we've actually got a minimum draw here. So the inverter uses power even when you're not plugged anything in. So that's a quick whistle-stop tour of the buttons. I get a lot of questions from viewers about other solar generator videos on this channel, as in when their solar generators are delivered, what state of charge can they expect? Well, in this case, this was completely flat, and I know that concerns some people in the fact that they're worried that that might damage the battery. there's not much you can do about it. You just need to charge it as soon as you receive it. So that's why I've got the power brick out now, because I can't show you much on this until I've got some charge in it. So that's plugged in now. You get a little blue light on there. I don't know if you can see that on camera, if it's in focus. So I'm just going to plug this in now and see what it does. Okay, so we've got 0% now, and it looks like it's charging at 82 watts. So as I said before, this is actually up to about 100 watts you'll get out of this. Obviously there's going to be a bit of inefficiency there, but it looks like this manages it now so that it will charge it. So I'm going to leave this charging for a while and then I'll come back to it. So now we've covered charging using the standard power brick that comes with this, I just wanted to show you the next option that you had, and that's charging via the USB-C PD port right here. Now, according to viewer feedback of the previous videos on the 372 watt hour, this is one of the most popular features. So I thought I'd just show you what you need to do that. So first off, you just need some kind of PD power brick. So this is the UGREEN one, which has proved popular and worked really well. So it just has one output here. All you need is a USB-C to USB-C cable, and that's it. And not only that, you can use this cable to charge from the device while you're out and about, so you can charge laptops and mobile devices and such. So let's hook this up and show you what it does. We are plugged in and ready to go. So let's plug in the cable and see what we get. And that's actually coming in at more than I was expecting. So it's now settled down at, looks like 68, 69 watts. So that's actually not far off of the standard power brick that comes with this. Time to cover the 12 volt charging options now. So I'm just using this BEAUDENS portable solar generator here purely for the 12 volt cigarette lighter output here. So at the moment we're getting 13.3 volts, and I just normally knock off 0.1 for this, so it'd be about 13.2 at the socket. And in my car, usually when the engine's running, which I always recommend you do by the way when you're charging any of these, is normally between 14.2 and 14.4 volts. So what I'm going to do now is get this hooked up and then get this plugged in and see the charging methods for the 666. Option 1 is a standard cigarette lighter adapter here to a 5521. So let's see what we get on screen. Let's see if that's come in now. And there we have it. So it's settled down now at 42 volts. So let's try the next option. So this is option 2, which is the LinkOn 12 volt PD charger. So this charger here is good for 60 watts. So what I'm going to do is plug this in now and see what we get on here. Plugged in, ready to go. So let's see what we get when we plug in the cable. Let's let that settle down. And there we go, 69 watts. So as good as the mains power brick. So the fastest way so far found to charge this in your car. So if you're looking to charge with solar, your best option is to use the Anderson port right here. And to do that, you really need the most appropriate cable for the solar panel you're going to use. So this is my long-term winner solar charger here, 60 watt version from ALLPOWERS. So to connect this one up, I need this cable here. So this is Anderson connector to DC 5525. So all I need to do is literally just plug that into the folding unit, obviously when it's outside and sunny, and then just match up the colours on here and plug straight into the Anderson port, just like that. And then that would charge if it was outside and it was a sunny day. So if you have, or you're planning on getting a solar panel that has MC4 connectors, then you'll need a cable like this. So this has the MC4 connectors here to connect to your panel, and this is the Anderson connector to connect to the 666. And that's all you need to connect up the other kind of panel. So once you've downloaded the file, as you'll see on screen, it just asks you if you want to install it. So we'll just install that. I'm on Android because I've got an S8 Plus, as in Samsung. So let's let that install. And then once that's installed, just go through the options on screen. So I'm now going to open that. And you have to allow this, otherwise this first part doesn't work. So I allow that on my device. And again, it might be different on iOS. And also I'm going to allow the location as well. And because I have the Bluetooth on my phone already switched on, and also switched on the unit itself. As you can see, the little Bluetooth icon in the top corner, I can now see everything I can. So I'll quickly go through this on here. So to turn on the LEDs, you just literally click the LED, and then that comes on, as you can see on screen at the moment. And then to turn on the two 12-volt DC outputs on the side, you can just click them on as well and off, as well as the USB, which will come on for the DC output on the front. And finally, you can switch on the AC inverter. And you can hear the fan coming on now. So that's on, that's telling me how many power out watts are going out at the moment, and a time to empty. So I wanted to try something a little different for one of the AC inverter tests on the 666. So what I've done is I've got all of my other solar generators on the table, and they're all connected to this extension cable which is plugged in here. So I'm going to switch on the AC inverter and see what happens. Okay, fan's whirring up. Okay, the fan on the EB150's come on. Screen's on the BEAUDENS. The AC light's on the 288. The 372 is now on and charging via the USB-C PD port. So it looks like we're all up and running. So what are we pulling on here? So far it's up to 320 watts. Continues to rise, so we'll see where this goes. Remember, this has a 500 watt continuous with a surge to 1000 watts. It's still going. So it looks like it's levelling out around the 350 mark. And it's also giving us a time on there of 54 minutes. So again, this is not a normal test, but I thought we'd give it a go just to try something different. So it looks like it can handle this. Time for another classic inverter test here. So we have a standard hairdryer. I haven't got much use for this myself, so we'll just see how far we can get with it. I'm not expecting it to get very far because obviously it's a 500 watt continuous and 1000 peak. So let's see, let's switch on the AC inverter. Let's let that wind up. Again, the fan comes in just as it starts up, as part of the startup process. Okay, let's switch it on number 1. Sorry about the noise. So it looks like we're up to about 470 watts. Still going. So this is great actually, I wasn't expecting it to get right up to near the 500 watt mark. Look at that, 484 watts. It's on the coolest setting, so what we'll do is switch it up to the next one. So I've just turned the fan speed up. So we've actually gone above 500 watts now, which is a good sign. That's 540 watts now. Oh, that's great. So it's actually going above for its continuous running. So I'm going to turn it down now. I'm going to turn it off quickly, and then what we'll do is we'll turn it on 1 again and turn it up to the upper heat setting. And no, that's it. We've reached our lot. That's tripped out the inverter. So we still managed to run it on its coolest setting at the highest fan setting and go over the 500 continuous. Great test. We hoped you liked our video. All the links you'll need will be in the description below. Please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell icon. And stay tuned to Dad Vinci.